The Dental Brief is brought to you by Omni Premier Marketing and the amazing guests who bring wisdom and advice that you can put to use to take your business and practices to the next level. Find us on Facebook and join the conversation. Get ready to grow because we are kicking off the next episode in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Brief. I have back on, I think, a 4-time guest, 3, 4, 5-time guest. Can't have him on enough. We got Mr. J. Malik. I said that correctly. Malik, right?
Yes, that's
Got it.
right.
Yeah, I don't know why I tried to change it up. J. Malik, lesstaxfordentist.com. I think the name of your website, your URL tells us, audience, what we're going to be talking about today. Jay, tell me, how did you start working with dentists?
How did I start working? Well, I have been working with medical professionals almost my whole career. And then about 15, 16 years ago, Affordable Care Act came along. And it was quite obvious that the one doctor offices, independent offices will be gone because one of the purpose of Affordable Care Act, also called Obamacare, was to help the bigger groups. So these now, as you can see, so many years down, there are very few independent and medical doctors' offices left. They are part of big hospital groups or big other groups.
Sure.
So once my clients would sell to them, then I couldn't do anything because then all their accounting went to inside. They have their own inside accountants.
Yep.
So I used to have dentists and chiropractors before that as well. So then I started focusing exclusively on dentists. And that's why where I am today. We work exclusively for dentists for years now.
Yep. And I will say that is so important. If you're an accountant and you're working with multiple different businesses, you have to learn those businesses. And there's really no way that you can learn how every single business operates if you have a significant amount of clientele. If you don't have a significant amount of clientele, you're probably not very experienced yet. So I think those are things for people to think about and to consider. Do you want to work with a professional that understands dental practices inside and out and also knows what's working and not working across different practices too? I think that's pretty important, right? So I'm sure that you pick up some things from your clients and you're like, wow, that's great. Or you help a client with something and you can help other clients with that same thing. So that's smart. One of the things that when we talked on past episodes, I literally can't stop thinking about it for quite some time because of the numbers that you put out there and the amount of money that you are able to save dentists is mind-blowing to me. And I want to make it clear too, there's other great accountants that work with dentists too, right? So you're not the only one, but you're certainly one of the ones that people know and trust. And I think that's important. So what's new? What's going on in the world of taxes and dentists? What do dentists need to be looking at right now and thinking about?
Well, we have the new administration and they are planning on extending. The last time when President Trump was in office in 2017, they had passed a tax law where they had reduced the tax rates significantly. So, but it was supposed to expire at the end of this year.
Right.
So they are planning to extend it. So while they extend it, they're going to also, it looks like they're going to add some other things to that and before they make it permanent. So we still don't have a clarity on it where we are headed with that, but we know it's being worked at. So that is one thing, which seems to be good news because tax rates will probably stay at least at the present level. It looks like.
Sure. Yeah.
Of course, with politicians, you can never say where it is headed.
That's right. As long as there's a debt at some point, taxes are going to have to be paid, right?
Yeah.
So I think with that being said, I'm a believer that taxes at some point are going to have to go sky high. And if we ever want to pay off this debt, we know that medical costs are going up. We know that military spending is going up, right? All these things are more and more and more spending. Eventually that's got to come due. So at some point in the future, we're either not going to pay our debts or taxes are going to have to go way up. So I think this is a really good time to be thinking about, planting hay or making hay while the sun is shining, right? So I think the sun is shining as far as taxes are concerned right now. It has been for a little bit here. Do you agree with that?
Exactly. Yeah, we have low rates and all the debate seems to be on lowering the government's expenses at this point rather than raising the revenue by increasing the tax rates.
Sure.
There is some talk of that these tariffs which the government is imposing on imports will help. And so we'll see. There is nothing concrete on that yet, so we don't know.
If there is a flip side to that, though, right? If taxes do go up as far as tariffs are concerned, I've always told dentists this for a long time. Your biggest competitor is not the dentist on the road. Your biggest competitor is the BMW dealership or the Gucci store or other luxury items that people will spend money on instead of dentistry. If those costs go up, everyone talks about eggs. I don't know why, but if the price of eggs go up, that could mean people have less money to spend on dentistry. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
But
Actually, there is one thing which worries me on this is that when we had the last big recession, like 2008, 2009, remember 2007, it started going down.
Yep, 7, yep.
Yeah, in the previous recessions before that, what would happen is that once the economy starts to grow again, within a year or 2 years, we would see that the revenue will start going up for dentists.
Yep.
So we were kind of in line with the general economy in the country.
Sure.
But in this great recession, what happened was the dental practices did not recover for like 7, 8, 9 years. Some never did. And the other bad part was that this was such a big recession. Maybe it was so big, that's why it happened. Some dental practices closed down.
Sure.
So, well, a recession, we haven't had a recession since then. But, technical recessions happen, here and there. When the 2 quarters, the GDP growth rates go down. But we haven't had like really big thing. And whenever that happens, it will be a concern how fast the revenue for dental practices comes back up after that.
I'm a believer that for a lot of businesses, recessions are actually good. For a lot of businesses, I think what ends up happening is people become very afraid and they kind of hide. They stick their head in the sand and they kind of hide, which creates a ton of opportunity, right? So when a lot of people feel like they're defeated, it creates a lot of opportunity for those who see that, right? So there's always a lot of people that make a lot of money during recessions because they get kind of bullish, right? So let me ask you this question, and I definitely don't like any type of fear mongering, and I have no idea if there's a recession coming or if we're in one. Have no idea. But let's just say one is happening. What are some things that you should be doing to prepare for that? What are some things that a dentist can do now that can get them ahead of this, where they actually come out better off than if it never happened at all?
Well, the primary thing is keeping your expenses under control. Okay, so if you have a good grip on your expenses, you are ahead of others. And for dentists, interestingly, many of them believe that it is the largest single expense in the dental practice is the team costs,
Sure,
employee expenses and all that.
Right. Yep.
That actually is a misunderstanding. In fact, the biggest expense in a dental practice is the taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're managing your
as long as you're making money, right?
Yes.
Yeah, as long as you're making money.
Yeah. Well, you got to make money. Think about a median kind of practice in the country today. Say somebody collecting from say 900,000 to 1.2, 1.3 million dollars. That's
Sure.
kind of median type of practice. So, and that practice generally should be bringing in at least 40% to the dentist.
Yep.
Adding all salary, profits, all the fringe benefits and all that. If it is lower than that, then that practice is already in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever recession hits, or even no recession hits, they are still not in good shape.
Sure.
The very big thing, which I'll just point it out to you, is that many dentists don't know these numbers.
Right.
Their bookkeeping systems don't provide them the numbers in this shape, in this form, so they can monitor month over month over month to see where they are headed, where they are, and how they are compared to other better run practices.
Sure. Yep. That makes a lot of sense. So I know that you offer free tax audit, right? You'll go through and look at the last year's or maybe even a couple of years. I'll let you clarify that. Tax returns, right?
Yeah. Well, it's an open offer. Anybody who wants me to look at their tax returns, they can just send it in, and we schedule 1 hour long Zoom meeting like this. in which I go over, ask them questions, understand everything about their taxes. Then
Sure.
I go back, do some actual work, and figure out where they have overpaid. Then I come back, hold another meeting with them in which I explain to them not only where they overpaid in tax, but how their numbers are breaking down compared to other better run practices in the country.
Right. Yeah. It's so important, right? Why wouldn't somebody want to do this? The only reason why I could think of that somebody wouldn't want to do this is that some type of fear, either fear that they're going to upset who they've been working with, or some type of fear that they're going to all of a sudden find out that they could have saved an extra $300,000 over the last 5 years, which means $300,000 literally in their pocket. That's the only reason, right? There's no other real reason why you wouldn't want to have somebody
Yes.
else take a look, right?
Well, the other accountant doesn't have to know. I mean, that who looked at the tax returns. There is no need to let them know.
Yeah.
And the important part in this is that, which I have noticed, many doctors want to do it, but they just don't. Doctors are so overwhelmed with work. They don't
Sure.
have time. They don't. I actually, interestingly, many years ago, I started offering that. Okay, I'll talk to you at after dinner, what time, whenever you want to talk to me.
Right.
Earlier, before you go to work, I'll wake up. I'll do the meetings with you. I'll talk to you over the weekend, right?
Right.
So that is not an issue. Fridays, some doctors take off, and we work on Friday. Friday is my busiest day, by the way,
Yep.
because doctors are off and they want to talk to me. So we do it, and it doesn't cost anything. And you don't have to buy anything from me. The other thing is the interesting part. I
Right.
mean, if you are good, you are good. You are good where you are. And there could be that some point, you might find out, okay, the accountant you have is not good, but you know somebody else. You want to go to them? Sure, certainly go to them. At least you have the basic data with you now,
Right.
what you need to do and how you need to do that.
Right. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think it makes total sense to do. The website that people will want to go to, that our listeners want to go to, is lesstaxfordentist.com. You can go there, you can sign up, you can take a look, book some time with your team, with yourself. So we really appreciate you doing that. Before we go, I want to ask another question. When it comes to profits with inside of a practice and expenses, if you can increase your profits by just a little bit, even 5%, right? And decreasing taxes is certainly increasing profits. If you can do that by just a little bit, that enables you to actually grow your business too, right? You can use those funds and reinvest those funds, saving taxes, right? If you're not actually putting it in your pocket and you're investing it back in your business, you can still save taxes doing that. And you can use that to bring on team members if need be, to bring on an associate, to build relationships, to take more CE, right? To hire a great marketing company. It's a little plug there for us. But if you can find some ways to save some money on taxes, it can really help you grow your business and your life, right?
The best use of money, which I have found in most dentists, which they save from somewhere, save from taxes,
Yep.
is to put that money towards an effective, good marketing program.
Sure.
Okay? The challenge we have in dentistry is everybody and their brother-in-law who can't find a job has become a marketing consultant.
There's a lot. Yeah.
And somehow they are the ones that the dentists end up hiring. I don't know why, but this
Yeah.
happens. But if you get a good marketing company who was actually already working in the dental field, and they can show you their data and show the records, and other people have benefited from. If you hire one of those, that is the best use. Generally, a well-run dental practice should be spending something about 5% of the revenue on marketing.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Many don't.
Yeah.
And if that is spent effectively, you can get many times return on your investment.
Absolutely. Yep. Which means more cash that you need to figure out a way to protect, which means you got to reach out to my good friend, Jay Malik. lesstaxfordentist.com. Go check it out. Get your audit. That's a no-brainer. Sir, thank you very much for being here today.
Nice. Very, very nice talking to you again.